Hi, and welcome to American News Trust. I'm Steele Black. On September 30th, 2016, Donald Trump, along with Jeffrey Epstein, were sued by a female proceeding in the case under a pseudonym, alleging among several other things that she was raped violently, assaulted, and falsely imprisoned during the summer of 1994 while she was just 13 years old by Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein. Now, if you're interested in looking at the complaint in that matter, I have provided a link in the description below. Now, the anonymous plaintiff alleged that these things occurred at a New York City residence that was being used by Epstein. There were also two female witnesses for the plaintiff who also used pseudonyms. One witness was at the time an alleged employee of Epstein's, and the other was an alleged childhood classmate who during the 1994-95 school year was allegedly informed by the plaintiff about the matter. Now, this case was voluntarily dismissed by the plaintiff. If you'd like to download a copy of the actual court pleading, I've also placed an additional link in the description. Now, I just want to tell you that I am a licensed trial lawyer and that these are just allegations. Now, as a result of the dismissal, there has been no viable evidence, if any, actually tried, if you will, in a court of law, proving that Donald J. Trump did anything wrong. So let's be clear about that. Now, I've handled many cases where a plaintiff only agrees to a voluntary dismissal because there's a confidential settlement agreement in place requiring that language. Calling it a voluntary dismissal effectively hides the fact that the defendant paid to settle. Now, I'm not saying this is the case with Trump and Epstein. I don't know. But I do want you to understand the dynamics. If my client is to appear as though they're dismissing without prejudice, it actually costs the defendant more money, even though without prejudice suggests the case could be refiled. In reality, the confidential settlement makes it look like the plaintiff didn't refile because the claims lack merit, which is exactly the perception a defendant would want. This doesn't happen in every case, but it happens often enough to be important. Now, if you like this content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share it. Allow us to keep going and believing we're helping the movement for 2026 and 2028. Thank you.